Want to know how to save money on insurance premiums while getting the protection you need? Today on Move Ahead with Dalia, we'll cover topics such as understanding different insurance policies, navigating the claims process, saving money on insurance products, and more with Jennifer Santiago from State Farm. Take a listen. Hi, Jen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It's almost Friday.
Good. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank
I
you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Of course, of course.
So let's dive in. Let's talk about your products and services that you offer through State Farm.
Yep. So I am a State Farm agent, and of course, we know State Farm, the auto insurance, the home insurance.
Mm-hmm.
We do the life insurance, the business insurance, the health insurance, all types of commercial insurance. We even do pet insurance.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, pet insurance. A lot of people don't know that. So we just started in that area a few years ago. So we're kind of growing with it. But yeah, so we do a little bit of everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about your background and why did you become a State Farm agent?
Well, I've been in the business for what will be 23 years already.
No way.
Swear to God, my 17th birthday. So don't do the math on how old I am, all right? Or how old I'm going to be. Yeah, I got into it working part-time at an insurance brokerage near my house, calling people that were late on their payments, filing. Graduated high school, and the owner offered to help me get licensed so I can sell. And I was like, I don't want to sell. What's selling insurance? There's nothing fun about insurance. But I'm like, I got nothing to lose, and I did it, and I haven't looked back since.
So when did you get your license?
I was 19 years old.
Really?
When I got licensed.
Oh my God,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I should get some sort of waiver for not having to do my CE classes anymore. It's like, you've had it long enough,
Oh, that's true.
Right? They should do something like that. But yeah, so I became a State Farm agent because I have a saying where it's like, I'm trying to change the world one policy at a time. Because I'm seeing the importance of what it is to have the right policy and the devastation of having the wrong policy. So, I'm trying to educate as many people as possible. And I thought, what better company to represent than State Farm? We've been around long enough, kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's awesome.
It just made sense.
So yeah, you've been, how long have you had your office?
It was just 3 years, January 1st. I opened up shop 1/1/21. Yeah, I have her. I call her, my daughter, because I have two sons, and people are always like, oh, when are you going to have the girl? It's like, she's right here.
Your office.
She's just as expensive and needy as any other kid, So that's my thing. That's my office.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. So let's dive in to some information about State Farm.
Yeah.
How does State Farm differentiate itself from other insurance companies?
I think that State Farm, because we've been around for so long, I want to say we kind of started the foundation of having the right company behind you, where we have the right teams in place. We have the right agents and communities. We strive for educating the customer, and, you have a company that has your back, so you have the confidence to sell a product to a customer, knowing that, hey, I promise you that when you need me, State Farm and I will be there. And I feel like people are like, okay,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you, at one point, not too long ago, went from agent to customer. So tell me what happened.
Well, that's actually where we met. So on July 7th, I believe it was a Friday, I held a workshop in my office for landlord evictions, because I have a lot of customers that go through stuff like that. And that Monday, there was a fire at the business next door to mine, which made my office a total loss. A lot of smoke damage, water damage. Ceiling got damaged, walls were destroyed. So I lost everything. I lost everything down to the paper clips that I had.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so that was devastating. But so I had to change my cap temporarily from being an agent and promising people and giving them that sense of, I got you. So now I needed that, and I had to give it to myself. It was hard. I still feel it sometimes where it's like, man, I can't believe that happened. But
Oh my gosh.
you know, it was devastating. But you know, we persevered. I told my team, I'm like, you know, we can take this as a poor us, boohoo, or hey, it's a learning experience. And now with even more confidence, we can go tell our customers like we went through it and look at what we were able to do.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I took it as a positive thing. It didn't seem positive in the moment.
Of course.
But now to me, it's like, I'm glad I went through it because I feel like that made me grow maybe in an area of, you know, my professionalism that I maybe was missing out in, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's the way I look at it.
Absolutely. We have to unfortunately, take bad situations and try to understand them, learn and grow from them, right? And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. And that's what I do every day of my, you know, in my job. It's, I deal with those bad situations, you know, from a customer having, you know, something as minor as my car was a hit and run, or something as major as like, hey, my husband passed away. Did he have life insurance with you kind of thing? You know, so we see all the bad part of it. And, you know, to go through it firsthand and experience it, I think that has helped my team, like I said, with the confidence, and it's definitely helped me more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have to persevere.
That's it. Perseverance is the word of the
Absolutely.
year. That was the word of 2023 for us.
Wow.
You know?
Well, you did great.
Yes. Thank you.
So now you're across the street.
I'm across the street. Thank God.
So what's your address?
I'm at 5027 West Armitage. So it's on the corner of Armitage and Grand. You know that light that if you get it, you're stuck there for like at least 3 minutes?
Yes, I do.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Best location ever.
Okay.
You know, thankfully the office across the street was available. So I was able to get it up and running in 2 months. You know, it was painting it, furnishing it, building the furniture.
Yeah, that's such a big deal because, you know, just to let your clients know that you're across the street versus, I'm sorry, you have to drive, you know, 5 blocks or 10 blocks or whatever it is. Yeah.
And especially in my community, because I'm in Belmont Cragen, where a lot of my customers are a little bit older, so they like to walk to my office. They like to drop off the money orders or the checks.
Yes.
So it was very important for me to stay where I was at, near where I was at.
And be visible.
And thankfully that, you know, it
Yeah.
opened up. I mean, it's not as beautiful as my other office, but it's amazing. It's, you know, my team, you know, they love it. We have a parking lot now, which customers love too, you know.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's been good. It's been very good.
Good. Well, you mentioned that we met at the community event at your office back in July. I didn't even realize it was in July. I thought it was like a few months ago.
No, it was in July.
Time is flying.
I know.
So I know that you're involved in community events. How does State Farm support the community, and how do you?
Well, State Farm, you know, they're the good neighbors, so they want to be visible in the community. They want to let people know that we're there. Me personally is, you know, growing up in that community, because I went to grammar school in Belmont Cragen. I graduated high school in Belmont Cragen. I live a mile from where my office is at, you know, so I have some deep roots in there.
You sure do.
And I feel like I want to make a difference to maybe somebody that I was 20 years ago. You know, that kind of stuff. Like I want to be able to tell customers like, hey, I know a resource that can help you with this, you know, because I have customers that walk in, it's like, hey, you know, tengo un problema con una inquilina, all of this. And it's like, hey, I can't help you with that, but I know that there's a company or a person that works and does that. So let me connect you.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like when I did my business plan with State Farm, because they didn't just give me an office. They're like, you know, I had to apply for it, business planned. And I said, I want my office to be like a hub, not just for insurance, but for people to walk in and say, hey, can you help me with this? I can't, but I know somebody that can.
Right.
So I want to be a resource to the community.
Absolutely.
And that's why I strive to be, and hopefully I can grow more in that, you know?
Yeah. Well, one of my questions was what motivates you to stay in the business, and what motivates you, you know, on a daily basis? Well, that right there is motivation.
I want to help people. I tell my team, it's like, imagine if my parents knew the things that they could have done for me back then that would have helped me out today.
Right.
You know, imagine if my parents knew, like, hey, open up a life insurance for Jennifer, put money into it so that when she's 30, she has this amount of money. And it's like, how different would my life have been? But it's okay. It didn't. So now my job is to make sure to every conversation that I have, like, give people options and resources and stuff like
and
that.
educate them.
Educate. That's the thing. We got to educate, especially the Hispanic community, I feel.
Yes.
Because I feel like, number one, sometimes it can be very hard to try to educate because they're like, no, But then other times it's like, oh, we didn't know. Like, why didn't anybody tell us? So this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm telling you now,
Yes. Well, as I mentioned when we first talked before the podcast, that was one of the reasons why I started the podcast, was because being involved in the community, you see all these resources that are available, but so many people don't know about them. And where do they go? And just being able to share that, the home buyer workshops, the information on anything like that, LIHEAP that, they help with energy bills and all these different things,
so many.
Landlord programs, homeowner programs,
law advice, free law advice, which is a lot of people, like, oh, quiero un abogado or something, but they can't afford it. It's like, well, if only I can ask one question to one lawyer for free kind of thing. And it's like, it's available. It's out there. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's change it up a little bit. Okay. I want to talk about claims. Oh, so, yes. You already went through it as a customer, right? And now in more depth, not just what you knew, what the process is. So tell me about how State Farm handles claims and how do you and your staff, guide your clients through that?
Well, the claims process, it's one of those things where it can either go really good or really bad. You know what I mean? In the sense that, like, for me, when my fire happened at the office, thankfully I had receipts for a lot of stuff that I had bought. So I had everything scanned. And that's one of the things that people probably don't think about.
Right.
Inventory of this stuff. So what I tell my customers when I, maybe sell them a homeowner's policy and I break down everything, I'm like, oh, your policy includes this, this, and that. And then this is what protects your personal property. And they're like, well, what's that? I'm like, that's everything. That's everything down to the socks that you're wearing, to the 80-inch TV that's hanging up. Well, how do you know what I have? So I tell them, I'm like, take a picture of your stuff. Go room by room and just take a picture of your stuff. Keep it in the cloud because everybody has thousands of pictures on their phones. And if something happens, you can be like, hey, you know what? In that room, I had a desk, I had a bed, I had
right.
this.
And during trauma, people don't remember that
and
stuff.
that's one of the things that I had a lot of issues with because I felt very overwhelmed. Because it's like, okay, so I just lost my office and now I got to give State Farm a list of everything that I lost. And it's like, where do I even start? Mm-hmm. And, thankfully my husband's like, well, we got receipts for all of this, Good. So it's like, it was but
most people don't keep receipts for anything that is,
no.
Unless it's something really expensive.
Yeah. And I tell people, like, if you're going to go out and buy a $3,000 Louis Vuitton purse, have a receipt. Take a picture of the receipt and have it. Not because of anything else, but in case you need it, it's there. Whether we need it for a claim or you need it for something else, it's there. And everything is digital nowadays, so it's not. Right. And a lot of people didn't even think about that. Like, oh, you're right. Let me go room by room, take a picture, take a video, and that's how you kind of have like a digital inventory of your stuff. But the claims process with State Farm is, I feel like they simplify it for customers.
Good.
They try to, we have the app where you can take pictures of your car and they give you a preliminary estimate. We have claim handlers. We have different departments. Like we have an express team, or if you need an adjuster, if it's a large loss. Like recently, about 2 weeks ago, I had a customer of mine that had a commercial fire. She had a mixed-use building. She calls me at 7:30 at night. I'm having dinner and it's like, I got to go see the place. I'm taking pictures. And it's, we right away start talking about, well, what can we salvage? What can we not? So State Farm goes out there, they look at it, and then it gets handled over to like a larger group because now it's a bigger claim than we thought. Okay. So they got specific teams for everything.
There's a system involved to make sure that everything gets taken care of. Okay.
And we try to be efficient and quick with everything because I feel like when people go through a claim, they want to see instant results. And we got to tell people, be patient. It's not going to be done overnight, but we're doing it as quick as we can. And
Yeah,
people get it.
I didn't realize that you as the agent go to the property.
Not a lot of agents do that. I like to do that, especially if it's a customer, because it's a very when you're going through something like that, you're just like discombobulated. So you need somebody there to be like your person to ask the questions to the fire department, your person to take a picture of this or document that.
Yeah.
So,
The one that's not in the emotional state, right?
yeah, I have no emotional attachment to this.
Yeah, you can keep your
I know my customers, so I'm
wits
doing it.
about you.
Yes, yes. So I feel like I need to do stuff like that. And
That's great.
not that I don't want to say it adds value, but customers appreciate that.
Of course.
I've had I've had friends that told me, oh, I had a fire however many years ago and nobody showed up. Like I had to call my agent and tell them, and I was like, well, everybody's different, but I take pride in that. I like doing that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I
That's
like to
really
connect
important.
with people because I tell people, at the end of the day, I'm a customer too. I'm an agent, but I'm also a customer. So I know what it feels like and I know what you need from me to make sure that you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've had the office for 3 years. Talk about your staff.
My team, I love my team. They are awesome. It's 6 of us. I have Melissa, who is my agent aspirant, so she's on path to open up an agency. Yaneli has been with me since day one. She's a rock star. I have Axel and Jose. They're also killing it. They're young. I love that they're young because I'm able to mentor them. And I tell them, like, I want you to get where I got to way quicker than it took me. So I show them I got to build up their confidence and I got to make them get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because that's how you grow.
That's right.
You grow. So it's been awesome. They're doing amazing. We've been able to grow our business organically. So we are very big on referrals and, they're great.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah, young team.
Well, that's great. I look forward to meeting them and working with them in the future. Right now with inflation so high, people need to find ways of saving money.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, insurance is something that you cannot avoid. You have to have it. Whether you're buying a home, you need homeowners insurance. If you own a car, you need auto insurance. And if you are thinking about your future, you should get life insurance.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know what we don't know, what will happen. So these things cost money. So what are the things that you and your staff tell the customers about ways of saving money so that they have the coverage they need, but they're not spending so much money on insurance?
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that we've been dealing with lately. It's, insurance is such a volatile business right now because, the cost of repairs has been so different before COVID. I hate to say before COVID, but
it's true. It's like before COVID with values of homes. Yeah.
Or values of cars. Like, remember, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago where the values of used vehicles was almost just as high as like new vehicles.
Yeah.
So it was costing insurance companies more money to fix their cars. They had a supply chain issue where now it was taking us 6 weeks instead of 2 weeks to get a part that they needed. Okay, so then we also had, there's a big issue right now where people are driving without insurance. There's people out there that are driving without insurance. There's a lot of distraction on the road. Everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's trying to get to that red light before you. You know what I mean? And I tell people, like, I'm a boy mama. I have 2 boys. And it's like your insurance policy, it's like your Captain America shield. That is what's protecting you from the risk out there. How do we make that policy make sense? Well, we got to make sure that the coverages are where they got to be, right?
Right.
You never want to sacrifice, liability insurance or limits of liability to save yourself a couple dollars. Maybe let's play with your deductibles. Maybe let's get you a little bit of a higher deductible because the higher the deductible, the lower the insurance. Discounts. What discounts are you not taking advantage of? Are you bundling your stuff? I tell people when an insurance company invents a discount, take advantage of it.
Right.
take advantage of it. You know,
Absolutely.
there's the one that people don't like. For some reason, people are not open to it, I should say. It's the beacon discount, the Drive Safe and Save. You know, where it...
What does that mean?
So they give you a little beacon. It connects with your phone via Bluetooth, and you throw the beacon in your glove compartment or you leave it in your car. And every time that you drive your vehicle, it tracks your driving habits. So if you're driving how you're supposed to drive, you're going to see the savings, you know? So when people tell me, well, I'm a good driver. Okay, here, prove it. And they're like, well, no, I don't want to be tracked. You're already getting tracked anyway. You might as well get a discount.
You're getting tracked by your phone.
Everywhere. You're getting tracked by your Snapchat, by your bank, by Target. I don't know about you, but every time I drive near Target, it's like, hey, we got this for you. Or this is in your cart. You know, so it's like, take advantage of it. It's 2024. It's the future. Do it.
Okay.
So it's, you know, finding out discounts, deductibles. With life insurance, I tell people the younger you are, the better it is. Because life insurance is based on your age. So lock it in when you're young and healthy, not when you're older and probably have a couple health issues. Because then at that point, you're going to see the difference.
That's right.
You know, but everybody needs it.
Yes.
Because I tell customers, I'm like, it's not the question of if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen and are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
You know, and a lot of people still don't believe in it for some reason. You know, and it's a little bit frustrating because it's like, it's not for you. It's for your family. You know, so don't look at it like another bill.
Right.
Yeah, you got to pay for it. But if you're not here, then how are they going to pay for all the stuff that you're already responsible for paying?
Absolutely.
Because you think that, you know, the utility companies are going to be like, oh, she died. Oh, we're sorry.
You don't know us anything.
Like, no, you know what? You can't afford it all. Let's put you on a payment plan. Or let's do this. They're going to get their money one way or another.
You still have to pay it. Yeah.
And that's what people don't get. And it's like, oh, it's so expensive. It's not. You can get something. I mean, I've seen policies as low as $15 a month.
Right.
And then there's people that pay hundreds of dollars. It depends. Like there's a product for you. You just got to sit down with somebody, talk, look at the options, and pick something. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. So savings were by bundling your policies, right? That was one of the specific ones you mentioned, the discounts.
The deductibles.
The deductibles. Yeah, I think that's a big one.
It is because a lot of people, they don't want high deductibles. They want low deductibles. It's like, for what?
Right.
You know?
It's for, your insurance is...
For big stuff.
For big stuff. It's not for minor things.
No. I had a customer the other day that's like, oh, somebody scratched my car. I want to file a claim. Only, well, your deductible is $500. Well, they scratched me. Why do I got to pay it? Do you know who did it? No, I don't know who did it. So if you want to file a claim, it's $500. What I would recommend that you do, maybe get an estimate. Maybe you can have somebody do it for $100 or $200.
Right.
Do that instead of using your insurance.
Right.
You know, and I had a training the other day with somebody from our main office, and he's like, insurance is for devastation, not for aggravation. You know, and it's the truth. Like,
that's a good one.
When people say, well, what's the point of insurance? Well, the point of insurance is if you run somebody over and kill them, we got to pay for that, not you.
Yeah, I love that. What was that? Insurance is for
devastation.
Devastation.
Not aggravation.
Very good. You know, another policy that I don't hear often and I think is pretty important is the umbrella policy. Tell me about that one.
So the umbrella policy is it's like another layer of protection. Not everybody needs one.
Right.
If you have the right coverage in place for your auto and your home. I like to talk to customers that maybe have young drivers in their household. You know, maybe mom and dad and 3 kids under 21. You know, maybe mom and dad own a couple rental buildings. So it's like an extra layer of protection. So if one of your kids does something behind the wheel, if the limits of liability get exhausted on your auto, then let's look at your home. If that gets exhausted and we want more money, that's when we're going to look at the assets, you know, if you're the claimant. So it's like that umbrella policy protects you from that.
So it's a liability policy, right? And it covers medical.
Anything that you're responsible for bodily injury or property damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone has a liability on their vehicle of $500,000, $500,000 because maybe they own a business.
Yeah.
Right? And they use their car for driving like we do.
Yes.
And some major accident happens and that $500,000 of liability isn't sufficient, then the umbrella policy kicks in.
It protects your assets.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. So
it's a great policy.
It's like an umbrella. You know,
Right.
you're protecting yourself from the other stuff.
Right.
It's important. Like I said, I recommend it a lot to maybe parents that have younger kids, business owners, people that own a lot of properties, because those are assets and you don't want to lose out over not having enough insurance.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. That's great. So, what do you enjoy most about being a business owner and or State Farm agent?
Educating people and mentoring my team and young people and meeting different people from the community. You know, like right now I'm working with a young lady that I've known her through the community. And, you know, I went to a Chicago public school. I didn't go to college. I went to high school. My parents weren't able to afford to send me to college. If I wanted to go to college, I had to do it on my own. Thankfully, I got into this job when I was still in high school, else I don't know what I would have been doing.
That's amazing.
But I felt like in high school, there wasn't really a resource out there. Even in my own school, well, if I can't afford college, how can I, you know, like,
Right.
there wasn't any of that there. So I'm working with this young lady to maybe start like a nonprofit for mentoring young girls. Like, hey, you don't need to go and get in debt $200,000 in college for what? Like, there's other things that you can do.
Absolutely.
Or if you want advice with something, you know, you can count on us to talk to and be real with you about that. So we're kind of, we have that in the works. So that's what I like about what I do. It's the fact that I can meet so many different people from different parts of the community.
Yeah.
And not just like impact, you know, younger girls. Maybe we can talk to adults. I don't know. It's just, I feel like I have the ability to shake a lot I'm hands. And that's what I like.
Yeah. And you want to give back.
Yes.
Right? Because I think we're on the same mindset. When I'm talking to you, you sound like me a lot in that we're in businesses, we're running businesses where we can impact the community.
Make a difference.
Make a difference. And how do we do that? By talking to people, by educating them about what's going on in the community. What do they need?
Yeah.
It's out there.
It's out there, but they just don't know who to ask, how to get to it. So it's like we simplify it for
And
them.
the mentoring program sounds amazing.
Yeah, so that's in the works right now. I hope it happens, but it's like, you
No,
know.
it will.
I hope so. It's just one of those things where it's like, well, where do I even start? Who do I talk to? So we're in that part right now.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I hope so. I tell my team as well. It's like, I wish I would have had somebody like me
Right.
at a young age to tell me like, hey
Right.
girl, no, do this, you know,
Right.
put me in that path. I'm grateful for everything that I went through and where, you know, it took me where I needed to be now, because I was able to see so many different things, go through so many different things, navigate things on my own. Then now I can tell people, don't go through all of that. Here's the easy way.
Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel.
No. Learn from my mistakes. These are my mistakes. Learn from them, you know?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're wrapping up.
Okay.
So is there anything that you could think of that I may have not mentioned, or something that you want to mention before we finish
I
up
think
the
we kind of
podcast?
hit it good. If there's anything that if anybody can take from this is, you know, if you have somebody that you love, somebody counts on you, whatever it is, talk to an agent or somebody about life insurance. Because I feel like that's what changes generations.
Right.
You know, so if you want to be that person that changes your family, do it. You know, like with parents, and, you know, our parents are getting older, and I tell like people that are my age, it's like, have your parents, you know, get some sort of policy, or you get it for them, because if something happens to them, you're the one that's going to be on the hook for it. Your life is the one that's going to get interrupted. You know?
Especially when parents, young families have children, right? And they're, planning, they could buy a home, of course, which is important and will build wealth. They could, spend a few $1,000s on vacation, but they really need to sit down and with estate planning, with an insurance agent, someone who can guide them with more information on that. Life insurance isn't that expensive.
It's not, and it's simple. It's a simple process, and it's important. And it's not as, like you said, it's not as expensive as people think,
Yep.
you know, and you just got to do it. Because, you know, our parents worked hard to get what they, you know, like I see a lot of people in my community, right? That older Hispanics, they probably have a 2-flat. They got son and daughter, maybe renting one unit. Mom and dad pass away. Do son and daughter know how to manage that? Do they know how to pay the bills? If they don't, then what's going to happen? They're going to lose that property that mom and dad
Exactly.
fought so hard to get and to maintain and
to
for it to
hold
go
on
because
to.
they didn't leave a legacy.
Yes.
You know, that's what I think is what changes communities and changes families. It's like having that in place, you know? So definitely, if there's anything that anybody can take away is like, it's not taboo, it's real life. You know, when I bring it up, it's like, me echas la sal, you're going to jinx me. That's not real. It's going to happen. The question is, again, are you ready or you're not?
Right.
And that's it.
What do you have planned for your family if you're not there?
Because, you know, it's not
Or
just...
not if, when you're not there.
When you're not there, because it's not just the funeral and the wake that the family has to go through, because after that's all said and done, everybody that was there to support has to continue with their lives. And now the family that you leave behind has to navigate and learn a new way of life. And they're doing it broke.
Yes.
Because now your income isn't there. And now maybe wife can't take time off work because she already ran out her PTO, but she has to go to work because she's the only paycheck. You know, so it's a lot of things that...
Very complicated.
And it's not, you know, people are like, well, I can't afford it. But you're at Dunkin' Donuts every day spending $5, $6, $7, $8, no big deal. You know, you're getting your latte. You know, I make fun of my little sister, like, because she, like, if you go to her room, it's nothing but like half empty Starbucks cups. I'm like, this is $4, this is $4, this is $4.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's a way of making it work. And like I said, there's not one policy for everybody. Find something that fits your budget. It has to make sense.
I had I was fortunate enough before I got into real estate to be involved in insurance. I worked in insurance for 5 years, and I did have my auto insurance and licenses.
Okay.
Auto and home.
PNC, yeah.
Yes, I did have that, and I did work in insurance helping customers. And that was one of the big takeaways was life insurance. Because you have to have homeowners and you have to have auto if you want to be legal. But if you want to take care of your family, get life insurance.
Because it's not for you, it's for them.
It's for them. It's for them.
Yeah.
Well, I so appreciate you being here, Jen. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And, you know, hopefully we can do this again.
Of course. Let's mention your phone number and your address again.
So, again, I am at 5027 West Armitage on the corner of Grand and Armitage. Phone number for the office, 773-637-3900. We are there 6 days a week.
Okay.
Even on Saturdays from 9 to 2. My team speaks Spanish and English, so
Great.
100%. So if anybody needs anything, te ayudamos.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. And how do they find you online?
Oh, youragentjen.com.
Youragentjen.com.
YOUR agentjen.com.
Okay, are you on social media?
I am. So my Instagram handle is @youragentjen. My TikTok handle is @youragentjen.
Awesome.
And then on Facebook, just search Jennifer Santiago State Farm.
Okay, awesome. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for listening today. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe so you can keep up with my latest episodes. You can find me on all social media platforms at Dalia the Realtor. To reach me directly, call me at 773-879-4855. I'll see you on the next episode. Make it a great day.